honestly been the go-to person. Just like Hands has been for Texas A&M, it's been Lee for Penn State.
She's been just incredible. So much fun to watch, so much athleticism. And, you know, we talked about would these players get tired, but they are running on so much adrenaline right now. No one looks tired. Everyone looks pumped up and ready for this fifth set.
Well, it happened so fast. We want to go back and look at the point that ended set number 4. Kiara McGee gets so high on this block.
She just absolutely roofs Ali Franti. And talk about momentum. Blocks, to me, are probably one of the biggest momentum generators. And so right now, even though we went to a break in between sets, you've got to think the momentum is on Texas A&M's side.
And ending a set like that.
Yeah, and they have nothing to lose. Nope. Here they are at home in front of a home crowd. They're pumped. They're excited. They're taking on the number 5 team in the nation. And they're hanging with them every point of the way.
The number 5 team who beat the current number 1 team in the nation, which means they will more than likely move up in the rankings
if they come out
with a win here tonight. Either way, it is great volleyball early on in the season. And if you're watching this at home or you're here in this arena, what an exciting match of volleyball that you are being treated to here tonight between these 2 teams.
It looks like both teams are sticking with their lineups. We will see if it's Davis or Patterson coming in as the second middle for Texas A&M. Caitlin Blake will start on the court for the Aggies, but she'll rotate out as soon as Texas A&M gets their first side out.
There you see a shot of Blake. 10 kills for her, 6 blocks, which is where she's been such a huge contributor along with Camille Connor. More than 2,000 on hand here tonight to witness this match here at Reed Arena. Right back to Holland Hands. So just a reminder, the 5th set only goes to 15, so it's a shorter set. You still have to win by 2, so it's so important to get out early in this 5th set.
And it is Morgan Davis that we'll see in the middle for Texas A&M.
Tight pass. Weiskircher does a great job, though, of taking that ball and sending it out to Simone Lee.
And speaking of the freshman middles, Morgan Davis hesitated when Weiskircher went up to jump set that ball. Because she did so, she left a huge hole in the block for Simone Lee to take advantage of.
We knew coming into this match that Texas A&M's freshman middles would be a cause of concern just in terms of blocking, and that Penn State would take advantage of it, and they have in a big way. Blocked, sends it right back over. Here comes Lee. She's going to go off the block, and it's also going to get a net violation from Texas A&M.
Just incredible play on both sides of the net. Some really, really good defense. But this is where Lee has the advantage because she is so athletic. She's able to put a more powerful swing on a ball more consistently than anyone on A&M's side of the net.
Hands off the net. Goes down the line with it, and a good placement on her part in terms of where she's putting that ball.
And Abby Dietering knows that Holland Hands is going down the line. She was still unable to play that ball, but when Hands is out of system, she's got to be careful. She's going down the line a lot, and Penn State is reading that.
Serve goes long for Texas A&M, so just like the first 4 sets in this match, this one is continuing to go point for point right now. Simone Lee back in the back row now serving for Penn State. Hands. Franti. Hands again. Point Texas A&M. Again, it's sometimes hard to tell immediately which side of the net that ball's coming down on.
I kind of have to watch the teams to see who reacts, and Texas A&M reacted with a cheer, but watch how close this is, and it does. It goes right down Reed. She's got to do a better job of closing off the distance between her hands and the net, but they're so worried about net violations sometimes that you get a little caught off.
Franti goes off the block for the point, and great job on Penn State. Holland Hands was serving, and they've ended her serve now just with that 1 point, and that's so important right now. So they go up now by 1, back and forth.
An interesting decision right there by Camille Connor. It was a perfect pass, and she still set the back row, Holland Hands in the back row, instead of going out to McGee. The right idea in thinking that you're going to get the blockers caught a little off guard, but Hands unable to execute that swing.
McGee, this one, though, again, comes back down on Penn State's side. And it's the same thing as we talked about in that previous point.
And Reed is just too far off the net. Her and Thielen set that block up perfectly. But Nia Reed has got to close the distance between her hands and the net because those balls are going down on Penn State's side.
There's going to be an ace from Amy Nettles for Texas A&M. That's going to be her first ace of the match.
This ball goes right at Thielen, and it's almost like she tries to back out of the way. Ali Franti almost saying, hey, I need to call you off. That's my bad.
Floater serve that just dies. Lee comes up with that one. Back row from Hands. Off the block and for the point.
And Abby Dietering completely bailed on this ball. It goes off the block, so she releases because she's setting. But Simone Lee kind of expected her to be there on defense.
So A&M now back on top. Penn State largest lead of this set has been 2 at 5-3, and then A&M has now won the last 3 points now to go up 6-5 in this third set. Again, we go to 15, or in this fifth set, I should say. We go to 15 in the fifth set, and you must win by 2. And judging by the first 4 sets, this one could go a while.
Some extra points.
Yes. We can only hope it does. Overpass Blake there for Texas A&M, and that has been something we've seen many times here in this match.
Caitlin Blake doing a nice job of knowing that the setter was back row. She wasn't going to be jumping up with her, and she just put that ball straight back down. Penn State's got to get their serve receive in check.
They continue to put pressure on Lee. Double set going to be called here, and if you're Coach Rose, this is where you might take a timeout, and he is going to, well, they're going to change sides at 8.
Switch sides at 8.
So you're not allowed to go to the benches, and he may or may not take a timeout here. I don't think he's going to. He's going to let the team handle it on the court. So it's a chance for them to take a deep breath, come together, but you switch sides, you cannot take a timeout off the court.
Texas A&M definitely with the advantage. A reminder of the rules. It is best 3 out of 5. We are in the 5th set. It is the first of 15 points. All sets must be won by 2. It does look like Penn State has decided to take a timeout here. In that 5th set, they switch at 8. And basically what that does is, you know, it like,
evens it out.
It evens it out because both teams have seen this, both sides now, which you don't think a lot of as, you know, whether or not it matters what side of the net you are on. But I know as a player, I was always superstitious about the team that I won or lost on.
You used to flip. You flipped a coin, and I assume they still did it, to see which side you picked to start on.
You can either pick serve or side, and then that way you know which side you're also ending on. But, you know, a really big point in the game right here, Casey. Texas A&M up by 3. Penn State's thinking, you know, we've got to get a side out now, out of this timeout.
Who do you go to?
You have to go to Simone Lee. She's in the back row, and I think you still have to go to her. She's got 27 kills on the day. Holland Hands with 27 kills for Texas A&M. She's also in the back row, so it'll be interesting to see how both teams handle what's going on with both of their best hitters in the back row.
A&M now with a 3-point lead over Penn State here in set number 5. In front of almost 2,100 fans here in College Station who turned out today to watch this match, knowing how good Penn State is and hoping that the Aggies would be able to hang with them, and they've gotten more than they hoped for here tonight. Outside to Franti, off the block. A&M's going to keep it going. They're going to call net violation, though, for Texas A&M, so point goes to Penn State.
Caitlin Blake in the net for A&M. Otherwise, it was a good touch. You can see, actually, it looked like it was Camille Connor with her wrist that got in the net. A little anxious on that block.
Holland Hands with the serve receive. Back row to Hands. Great dig by Weiskircher for Penn State on that swing. Outside to McGee, who hits the antenna. That set was just so far out, she couldn't bring it back in.
It was fast, too. It was really fast, and it looked really good out of Connor's hands, but it just sailed past the pin, and McGee was unable to keep that ball in. An unfortunate mistake there by Camille Connor.
Pass by Hands off the mark, and then she goes out of the back row. Franti blocked, but it's going to be a point for Penn State, and just like that, we're tied it in.
Just like that. That's how quickly these points can disappear. Leads, I should say, disappear. Franti using the split block right there of Blake and Connor for the kill. This is also where senior maturity and leadership can come into play.
Nettles unable to handle that serve. McGee goes deep with the shot. Franti, another dig by Nettles. Franti off the block again. Connors tries to go for that same shot she had used in the point previously, or the rally previously, and was unsuccessful with it. So now Penn State up.
And, you know, Penn State is in system right now. They are getting the swings they want. Texas A&M not so much, but Texas A&M is still keeping those hits by Penn State under control. Camille Connor trying to get that second contact over again, and just didn't get to it.
There you see Russ Rose, and we've talked about the history of Penn State, and you know, he has done so much for this school. He's actually been at Penn State. This is his 39th season at Penn State, but you see the names that he's up there with, and it just really shows the quality wins that he's gotten while he's been the second coach, I believe, in Penn State history.
It was September 30th of last year when he became the first active D1 volleyball coach to reach that 1,200 win mark. And he holds the title of winningest coach in Division I to date. And, you know, following the retirement of Hawaii's Dave Shoji, he is the only active coach with 1,200 or more wins in Division I volleyball.
So he's a legend. His program is a legend, but Texas A&M has not been fearful of either of those two things. Here tonight, the Aggies have really, really turned up their jets against this team.
And we saw the timeout work for Penn State when they were down 8-5. Lori Corbelli calling a timeout here. They're down by 1. We'll see what adjustments Texas A&M makes coming out of this timeout.
Penn State up by 1. A&M has led by as much as 3. 8-5. Penn State has now rolled off 4 points in a row here against Texas A&M.
And even though she's just as dangerous in the back row, if you're Texas A&M, you've got to see Simone Lee in the back row and think, we've got to take advantage of it when she's on the back row, because she's getting to the front row real quick.
Great dig by White. Blocked by Texas A&M. They're going to go back to Franti. Amy Nettles sends it over. Franti again. Net violation on Texas A&M.
And you just can't have those right now, Casey. Those are free points, and I think Caitlin Blake knows that she's a little late getting over to that outside block, and so she's reaching a little too much if it is her in the net.
And this is where some of this conditioning may come into play right here. Hands out of the back row. Simone Lee out of the back row, right at Amy Nettles. But a big shot from Simone Lee, and that puts Penn State in double digits here in this set.
And Penn State is overpowering Texas A&M right now. Coach Lori Corbelli knows it. She's going to call another timeout.
That's A&M's second timeout here of this set, so that's it in terms of timeouts now. Penn State's got an 11-8 lead, and talked about the crowd here, almost 2,100 in the arena here tonight, and the students really are enjoying what they're getting. A&M doesn't have a football game today. They're playing out of town tomorrow. So that opened up this date for A&M to host this tournament and bring in Penn State today, Stanford tomorrow, and this crowd really turned out, almost 2,100 of them today for Texas A&M.
Well, and Penn State, with the rich history of volleyball, it is a volleyball school. They're used to playing in front of a lot of people. Texas A&M, what do you think of? You think of football. You know, you think of men's basketball nowadays. And so volleyball is now becoming a little bit more popular. You're seeing these great crowds, and, you know, part of it, you know, also being these games being able to be televised and fans being able to watch at home. But, you know, this is fun for Penn State. They like to go on the road and play in front of some of these crowds because they're used to it at home.
Going back to the match, looking at the hitting percentage right now, there's a huge difference between what A&M is doing right now and what Penn State is doing right now.
Penn State hitting 389 in this set alone. Texas A&M only hitting 150. And Casey, that goes back to Texas A&M has been out of system since that 8-5 mark when they were ahead 8-5. Penn State has been in system. And when I say that, they're getting passes to target, and the setter is able to put them wherever she wants. Because of that, Penn State is getting much better swings on the ball, and Texas A&M is having to play defensively the whole time.
Amy Nettles, pass errant on serve receive, and this is not when you want to have those things happen after doing so well, and you can bet. And this is, you know, Weiskircher is one of Penn State's best servers, one of their toughest servers. You could see the movement on this ball. It is so close to the net and moves so much. It is hard to pass. Free ball coming for Penn State. Short to the middle. Hands out of the back row for Texas A&M, and does a good job of getting that one down to the ground for the points.
It was a bump set, but it was a perfectly placed bump set by Camille Connor. It was right over the 10-foot line, and as long as Holland Hands, as long as her feet take off from behind the 10-foot line, it's safe. It's a good hit, and she really took advantage of that.
Franti blocked, right back down on her side, and here comes Texas A&M right back here, 2 points in a row after that timeout.
Samantha Sanders has been out of the game for a while because Penn State's been on this run. She comes back in, and this block might have actually gone out of bounds, but because it went straight back at Franti, it went off of Franti's body, and therefore it's a point for Texas A&M.
Blocking has been such a huge thing in this match, and honestly, talking about A&M's youth in the middle, and the fact that they're, you know, Caitlin Blake's experience, but you weren't sure who was going to be that other side. I'm quite frankly, this number is so fascinating to me that A&M's been able to get 11 blocks here tonight.
A lot of the blocks have been on the outside. You know, you just saw the one by Samantha Sanders. We've seen a few from Holland Hands and Kiara McGee as well, but it still takes the middle to get there and to close that block. And you're right, it's very impressive that Texas A&M is out-blocking a team that just outblocked the #1 blocking team in the country, Stanford. Penn State had more blocks than Stanford did last night. Another look at this block by Sanders. Watch her hands. She gets all the way out there and closes it off. And again, might have had those hands turned out just a little, but because it went so hard off of Franti's swing, it ended up going off of her body and being a point for Texas A&M.
And Sanders, another freshman for Texas A&M, but also part of Texas A&M's height. She's not on there. She's 6'2". This is probably one of the tallest lineups in height-wise that A&M has ever had.
Texas A&M has always had some very athletic players, but they haven't been known to recruit the really tall, 6'3" and above. But now you've got Morgan Davis and McKenna Patterson, 4 players at 6'2". You're right. This is definitely the tallest roster that Texas A&M has had in a long time.
Height is great. Can you use it? And
Absolutely.
that's one of the things. You see Haley Washington for Penn State. She's 6'3", and she uses it. Very athletic. Franti goes through the block this time, and that comes down on Texas A&M's side. So Penn State now 2 points away from closing out this match here against Texas A&M. And what a great match it's been. 13
Simone Lee back on the front row for Penn State.
All right. Expect her to get the ball. Kiara McGee gets it for Texas A&M. To Lee. And she goes and finds the deep corner of the court. So match point now here for Penn State.
Also a huge net violation by Texas A&M. I believe it was McGee in the net. Still a great swing by Simone Lee. It counts. She's got 29 kills on the day.
Caitlin Blake keeps A&M going in this one. Behind her, but she still managed to find the spot.
I love the set by Camille Connor. She's way off the net and still says, hey, I want to get this to my middle. Trust. Caitlin Blake trusted Connor. She's up in the air, and she had a great set right to that hitting arm. She was able to find that deep corner on Penn State's defense.
Still set and match point for Penn State as Gabby Litwin goes back to serve. Holland Hands on the front row. Now for A&M, so you've got both big hitters in the match. Gonna go to Lee. Connor keeps it alive. Free ball for Penn State. Expect it to go back row to Franti. That's gonna be in the net. Did not clear the net. So Penn State opting not to go back to Lee on that point. Goes to a back row attack. The point goes to A&M.
The back row attack by Franti clearly does not clear the net. Texas A&M with the triple block up to try and stop that one. They didn't need it.
Match point again for Penn State. Lee. A dig by Amy Nettles. A&M is going to keep this one going. Free ball over, and it's out, and that is how this match is going to end. Penn State takes it in 5. 15-12 is the final set 5 score.
What an incredible match for everyone involved. Texas A&M has to be so proud of what they did today. Penn State did a really, really nice job of keeping their composure, because it could have been very easy for them to get frazzled in that 5th set, especially when they were down 8-5, Casey. But they showed the veteran, the capabilities that they have, and they showed that they're deserving of their ranking in the country right now.
Well, what a great match that we got to witness here today.